another video about using line pattern for custom quilting. This is a little I Spy quilt I'm making, and I didn't want to do an all over on it. I wanted to add even more motifs. So in these plain squares I'm stitching little designs. It's a bit hard to see, but I'm doing them with line pattern. So I'm stitching a design from corner to corner, and then just a spiral design over the printed fabric, and then I'm putting in another motif. Like I said, it's hard to see on the quilt, so if you come up to the screen you can see the row I've already done. Okay, the half circles with the loops, that's in the sashing around. It's this that's going through the squares, and I'll show you how to do that using line pattern. So I'm going to go add edit pattern, add pattern, line pattern, and now I'm going to move my machine over to the start of the next row. Now my first square here is plain, so I want to put a little picture in there. So I'm going to come down to this lower left corner, my needle's over the lower left corner, and I'm going to hit OK. Now I'm going to hit this button that says catalogue, and I'm going to find a design to put in there. Now I've got lots of little patterns that will go corner to corner in a square in a catalogue I named C2C. Some of these I've drawn myself. Some I've taken motifs, like for instance this elephant, which I call Bright Elephant, because that little elephant came out of an Anne Bright pantograph. I just clipped it out, then added arcs at each side to make it continuous. So this is a little collection of patterns I know will work corner to corner as a line pattern. So I think I'll go back here. I haven't used elephant yet, so that's what I'm going to choose. So that's going to be my line pattern. I touched him, I touch continue. Okay, I already hit OK for starting, and then I'm going to go to the opposite corner, needle over that corner, and then if you look up at the screen you'll see the elephant. Now the pattern height, this is 3.29 inches. I know that will fit in my little square. If I want to change it, for instance, I think he looks a little tall, I'm going to change it just by dragging on the screen. When I like him, I'm going to hit OK. Now the next square on my quilt, and I'm going to come down to the opposite corner, the lower right corner, and we'll pan over. I don't want an elephant there because this is a piece of print fabric. I only want the little spiral in there, and because I've already used the spiral, I don't need to go to catalogue. I'm just going to hit the button that says pattern. It's not that. There it is, there's the spiral. I know it's the right size, so I'm going to hit OK. Now I've got another plain square, so I'm going from the lower left up to the upper right. Again, I'm going to go to my catalogue. It remembers I was at the C2C catalogue, so I'm going to scoot over and find a design I haven't used yet. Perhaps we'll put the butterfly in this one. Okay, there's the butterfly. Now he needs to be, he's kind of a funny shape, so I think I'll make him a little pattern height, make him a little squared off. That's a bit better. Okay, now there's another patterned piece of fabric, so I'm coming down to the lower right, and I want the spiral again. Let's pan over. I don't want the butterfly, so I'm going to hit pattern. I don't want that. There's my spiral. Okay, so now there's another plain one. I'm going up to the upper right. Now this time I don't want to go back to my catalogue. I'm going to use something I've already used, so you can see all the different patterns I've used. So I'm just going to touch pattern, pattern, there's the bee, pattern, there's the boat, there's the fish. IQ remembers all the patterns I've used, so it'll scroll through and you don't have to keep going back to the catalogue. I think I'll use the frog again there. So I'll hit OK, come back down. This is another pattern fabric, so I want my spiral, not elephant, not butterfly, not that, that. OK. And so on. And so you can see how quick how quickly you can customize a quilt. And then of course when I've marked that whole row, I'll stitch it. So it'll stitch it all in one pass. So that's another way to use line pattern for custom quilting.